Hi everyone, it's Sandy, and today I'm going to attempt to do a 24-hour readathon. But before I get into all of that, I wanted to show off some new jewelry that I'm wearing from Ana Luisa. I wanted to thank Ana Luisa for sending me 3 other pieces to share on my channel, and I'm wearing all of them right now. I wanted to start off with what I'm currently wearing on my ears, and this piece that I'm wearing on my earlobes is called Frida, and this is a piece that I actually selected that's a little bit outside of my comfort zone because usually what I wear on my ears are just studs and that's it. But I really loved a lot of the pieces that Ana Luisa has to offer, and so I wanted to choose a piece that's a little bit outside of my comfort zone but also something very cute and that I could wear on a daily basis, and this is honestly the perfect piece. I just love the way that it looks. And then the second earring that I'm wearing above my earlobe is called Helios, and I love that it's like the shape of the sun and there's like one gemstone in the center. I really love that the gemstone sparkles, and I think it's a really great layered look with Frida. I just really love the way that they look together. Frida is $49 and Helios is $59, and the last piece that I'm wearing is this necklace and it's called Vita. It starts at $89. I really love how simple and dainty this looks. I think it's super cute, and I love that there are gemstones that line the V. All of the pieces that I'm wearing are very cute and elegant, and I think they're very easy to mix and match with other jewelry. And coincidentally, I actually purchased 2 pieces from Ana Luisa during their Black Friday sale before I started working with them because I genuinely love their jewelry and overall brand. They have a sustainable mission of being entirely carbon neutral, and their pieces start at $39. For high quality and beautiful jewelry, I think their prices are pretty fair. They also offer some higher end pieces, but I'd say that most of their pieces range from $50 to $100. Since I love their jewelry and brand to purchase for myself, when I was contacted to collaborate with them, I obviously had to say yes. My overall style is very casual and comfy and sometimes pretty girly, and so wearing these pieces just spices up my overall look and makes me feel a lot more put together. There's a wide range of pieces that Ana Luisa has to offer, and I feel like there's definitely something for everybody. If you're interested in checking out Ana Luisa, I will have a link to them down below. I also have a 10% off discount code to offer, which is sandyreadsalot. I will have that information in the description box below as well. Alright, so now we're going to get into the reading vlog portion of this video, and I'm going to attempt to do a 24-hour readathon, which I've never attempted before. Right now it's December 28th, it's Monday, I don't have work for the rest of the week, so I figured now is honestly prime time for me to attempt to do a 24-hour readathon, and so I'm going to try to read as many books as I can within 24 hours, and I'm going to start the clock at 10 a.m. So I have about 22 minutes before the readathon starts, and I want to share with you all what I plan on reading. I'm not going to be super ambitious or anything. I only have 2 books that I plan on reading during this readathon. So the 2 books that I plan on reading during this readathon are books that are coming out in 2021. The first one is coming out January 5th. So by the time you're watching this video, the book is already out, and that is One of the Good Ones by Maika Mulit and Maritza Mulit. This is going to be my priority read. It's the book that I definitely want to get through during these next 24 hours. First off, the cover is beautiful, and it just sounds like it's going to be such a very powerful and impactful story. This book centers around 3 sisters, and one of these sisters is a teen social activist who was killed under mysterious circumstances. And so the other 2 sisters are left to grieve with their sister's death. It explores police brutality and the differences in how society places value on the lives of Black people. I'm very excited to pick this story up, and I can't wait to share my thoughts with you all. The next book that I hope to read is The Iron Raven by Julie Kagawa. I will be honest and say that I'm a little bit nervous to get into this book because this is the first book in a new fantasy trilogy that's set in the Iron Fae world, and I've never read any of the Iron Fae books, so you would think that I should probably read those books, but this is a spin-off, so technically you don't have to. This book actually comes out February 9th, so not super long from now, so I'm gonna give it a try and see what I think of it. I really don't know too much about the Iron Fae series other than it centers around characters who are Fae, and the Iron Fae is also an older YA series, so I feel like even if you haven't read it, you are familiar with it, and I haven't read a book about Fae in a while, so I wanted to get back into that type of world and see how the author portrays her own world of fairies. So even though I'm a little bit nervous, I'm also pretty excited at the same time. So it's almost time for the readathon to start. I'm going to make myself a cup of tea and then hop into bed and get all comfy and begin reading. Right now it's 10 o'clock, and that means the readathon has started. I'm going to do a 30-minute reading sprint. So I'm going to read for 30 minutes straight. I'm going to put my phone a little bit far away so I don't touch it and get distracted. I just read the author's note at the beginning and I think it's super powerful, and they give an explanation of why they chose the title One of the Good Ones, and they mention that it's usually code for a person that the country deems worthy, and this importance is usually tied to level of education, income, class. And so overall this author's note is really powerful, and I'm really looking forward to actually reading the story itself. So my 30-minute reading sprint is up and I am now on page 44. My first impressions are that I'm really enjoying the story so far. So with one of the main characters, her name is Kezzy, and she is a sister that has died under mysterious circumstances. Like I mentioned in the synopsis of the book, she is a teen social activist, and one of her main platforms is her YouTube channel. And so in her chapter, she's like reading through her emails. She receives this email from this one person and it just has like creepy vibes written all over it. She's a little bit concerned about the email, but she kind of brushes it off. She's also in a relationship and has a girlfriend, and I really like how the author is tying in the title One of the Good Ones into different scenarios in the book. So for instance, with Kezzy and her relationship and sexuality, she talks about how if people at the church that she goes to finds out about her sexuality, she wouldn't be considered one of the good ones. And so now I'm a couple pages into chapter 4, and it's in the perspective of a character named Shakiria, and I'm a little bit confused as to who this character is because my impression was that this book was going to be told in the perspectives of 3 sisters, and the sister's name is Kezzy, Happy, and Jenny. So right now I'm a little bit confused as to who this character that I'm reading from is, but I'm sure we'll find out soon. So those are kind of my early thoughts on the book so far. I am getting a little bit hungry since I skipped breakfast, but I don't want to eat now because I feel like that will just push back my lunch time and then push back my dinner time, and I don't want that. Right now it's 10:40, and so I'm going to hold off until 12 before I eat something. It's about 10:50 now. I took a little break from reading and now I'm going to get back into reading and do another 30-minute sprint. It is almost 12 o'clock and I am really hungry, so I'm about to make myself lunch, but I'm currently on chapter 13 of the book and I'm on page 114. So I'm pretty happy with the progress that I've made so far. So I'm gonna head upstairs and make myself some lunch, and then after lunch I'm going to get back into reading. So for lunch today, I'm going to make myself a bowl of rice with avocado and a fried egg. Something super simple, delicious, and easy to make. Oh no, I think this avocado is bad. Okay, this avocado is like the last avocado that we have, and it's kind of mushy, so I think it's gone bad. Oh, okay, not bad. And then I top off my avocado with this seasoning, which is the Everything But the Bagel seasoning from Trader Joe's. And this thing is like my favorite. I love it so much. It's almost 12:40. We're about 2.5 hours into this readathon. I finished lunch and watched a couple of videos on YouTube, and now I'm going to get back into reading. So far, I think the sister dynamics is really interesting to read about. Kezzy is the middle sister, Happy is the younger one, and then their older sister Jenny, she's like 7 to 10 years older than both of her younger sisters. So far, we haven't had a chapter told in Jenny's point of view yet. Kezzy and Jenny are definitely the closest, and so I feel like Happy kind of has some sort of resentment about how close her older sisters are to one another, but also there are conflicts and issues that these sisters deal with, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the book explores more of that. I'm now in chapter 23 and I'm on page 210, and I'm really enjoying this story so far. I feel like I don't really have anything new to add. I do want to keep this vlog spoiler free, so I don't want to get into anything specific, but Happy and her older sister Jenny are going on this road trip that their sister Kezzy wanted to go on after she graduated, and so they're going on this road trip to honor Kezzy, and they want to document it for Kezzy's viewers. And joining them are Kezzy's 2 best friends, one being her girlfriend. I'm really enjoying reading about them traveling to different places in the US and learning about the historical significance of some of these places. So far there are 4 different point of views in the story. We have obviously Happy and Kezzy, and then we have Shakiria, who I mentioned earlier. So far it doesn't seem like she has any relation to any of the sisters, but there was one moment earlier on in the story where she has a run-in with Happy, but that's pretty much it, and I actually am enjoying reading from her perspective. I do admit that there are times where I would prefer to read from Happy or Kezzy's point of view, but I am really interested in seeing where Shakira's storyline goes and seeing how that kind of ties into the overall story between Kezzy and Happy. And then the fourth point of view that we get is Evelyn, who is Happy and Kezzy's great grandmother. And with this road trip that Happy and Jenny are going on, they're using this green book, which is essentially a book to help Black people travel safely throughout the US during Jim Crow. And so in Evelyn's chapters, we see this book being used and we get a better understanding of the family history. Right now it's almost 2 o'clock and I'm going to keep on reading. Oh my gosh, so I'm on page 249 and I think I reached a twist in the book. I'm not too sure of all the details and facts yet, but all this stuff is like coming together in my mind. Wow, I was not expecting that at all. So I just finished that chapter I was reading when I was talking about like the plot twist and everything. Now it makes complete sense why we had the point of view of a character who didn't seem to have any relation to any of the sisters. Damn, I am still processing what just happened. I really did not see that coming and I definitely need to keep reading. I'm now on page 333. I've reached the epilogue of the story. And I finished the book. I knew this book was going to be good, but wow, it just became a new favorite of mine. I really love the whole theme of the story and how it emphasizes the phrase "one of the good ones" and how some people are deemed worthy over other people and the differences in how society places values on the lives of Black people. The story was just amazing and I loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. So right now it's about 3:10 and so it took me about like 5 hours to read this book. Obviously I did take breaks and I wasn't reading the entire time, but I feel like I'm making very good progress in this 24-hour readathon. Now that I finished this book, I do want to compile a list of trigger warnings to share with you all. There's police brutality, homophobia, racism, kidnapping, and drug dealing. I'm definitely going to take a little bit of a longer break right now before I hop into the next book. So once I start that book, I will let you all know. It's about 3:45 p.m. and it's that time of the day where I could really use a nap right now, but I'm going to push through and finally begin The Iron Raven by Julie Kagawa. So it's a little bit after 6. I just took a shower and had dinner and I'm currently 58 pages into The Iron Raven. I am liking it so far. I do have questions about the whole fairy system, but in general I feel like the author is doing a really great job at explaining different concepts and different parts of the world. I'm honestly feeling pretty tired and not really in the mood to read, but it would be nice if I could get through like halfway through this book before the end of the night. I am going to try, but we'll see. Hi everyone, so it's almost 7 p.m. and I'm only 93 pages into The Iron Raven. The story is definitely starting to pick up a little bit more. There was a pretty intense action fight scene that happened and now the main character is experiencing a sort of transformation. I'm not going to go into depth about that because I don't want to give away any spoilers. I really like this main character. He's a bit of a jokester. He's very sarcastic at times and I feel like there's going to be some sort of romance between him and this other side character that we're introduced to. Based on what the author has shared with us, it definitely seems like he's experienced some heartbreak in the past, so I'm looking forward to seeing this potential relationship between him and the side character develop. Also, I have some popcorn that I'm going to snack on. This is like dark chocolate sea salt caramel corn. I've never tried this before. This came in a gift basket that my neighbors gave us, so I'm excited to try this one out. I did entirely eat the plain caramel corn version of this that was included in the gift basket, so now I'm making my way through this version. I just really love caramel corn, so I'm excited to try this. Actually, let's do a taste test right now. I don't want to eat this whole bag, but like it's really hard to stop eating when something's really good. Let's try one. Yeah, that's good. So now I'm going to get back into bed, continue reading, and continue snacking. It's about 8:20 and I'm all ready for bed, but I want to get a little bit of reading done before I actually go to sleep. And I'm currently on page 147 of The Iron Raven. I don't really have anything new to add regarding my thoughts, but I'm going to keep reading a little bit before I go to bed. So it's about 9:30 and I'm like really tired, and I know it's very early for me to go to bed, especially when I don't work the next day, but I'm pretty tired and I do want to get up a little bit early so that I can actually finish this book. I'm now on part 3 in The Iron Raven and I'm on page 201, and hopefully by going to bed early I can wake up a little bit early because I feel like I can definitely finish this book tomorrow if I can get up early enough. So I've been introduced to the characters Megan and Ash, and if you've read the Iron Fae series then you'll be familiar with who these characters are, and I'm really looking forward to seeing more of these characters. The main character and Ash definitely don't seem like they get along. So now I'm going to go to bed and I will talk to y'all tomorrow morning. Good morning, everyone. So it's almost 8 a.m. in the morning, which means I have 2 hours left in the readathon, and I think I could finish The Iron Raven before my time is up. I basically have like 130 pages left, so I'm going to put down this vlog camera and continue reading, and I'm going to just try to read for like 2 hours straight. Obviously, I'm going to take like a 5-minute break here and there. So it's a couple minutes after 9 and I'm currently on page 305. I have about 30 pages left, so I can definitely finish this book before 10, and I'm really enjoying the second half of the book so far. So the main plot of this book is that there's this creature that has been causing a lot of things in the world of Never Never to act violently, and so these group of characters are basically chasing down this creature and trying to figure out what's going on. I really like the group dynamic so far, especially since there's history between a few of them. I'm going to continue reading and I will update you all once I finish. So it is currently 9:18 and I have finished The Iron Raven, and that ending, wow, it definitely was a bit of a cliffhanger. So I definitely want to continue the series. I think overall I'm going to give this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I'm really glad that I enjoyed it, considering that I was nervous to go into it thinking that I might not like it as much because I haven't read the original series. But after picking this book, it motivates me to want to pick up the original series so I can get a better understanding of the world and the history between some of these characters. I would say that my first 24-hour readathon was a success because I was able to finish these 2 books and I really enjoyed them both, and I have like 42 minutes to spare before the readathon is over, but I'm feeling really good and I just don't think it's worth picking up another book within the 40 minutes that I have left. Thank you so much for watching this reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to check out Ana Luisa and their beautiful jewelry pieces. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, I will have a link down below along with a discount code for 10% off. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!